Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video we have three PC cases from SlevCase. I'm reviewing all three together because they are very similarly priced. Frame wise it's very similar too, with only some things being different here and there. So let's begin. The Spotless over here retails at $129. It comes with a power supply. Very bare minimal case for someone who wants it reasonably compact and well, just like for office users and such. Then we have the Aouch. Aouch retails at $129 too. It has power supply as well, and pretty much that it is wider, slightly wider, taller, deeper version of the Spotless. Nice front panel to touch actually, because it has kind of like a brush finish interface at the front. And lastly we have this one, which is called Insight. Insight costs less. It's retailing at RM 119. It does not come with any power supply, but it comes with two intake and one exhaust fan, and as you can see they are rainbow colored, though you cannot change the color and all that. It's powered by Molex connector, but whatever it is, these are the cases. Now let's head over to the overhead camera where I go into greater detail of these cases. So here we are with the overhead view, starting with the SlevCase's smallest case, which is the Spotless, and it does not have any spots, correct? Small, compact, as you can see. How do I put it? It's light, it's compact, it fits within the frame of my camera. I have pre-removed the screws, so let's have a look at the interior. Okay, so it flips open like this, and pretty much just that. You put your your motherboard inside. Power supply is there, and this is a power supply that I personally wouldn't use on a gaming rig. If it's an office rig, I'd say it's okay. You can spend a bit more just to replace it, which I think is a good move as well, if you don't mind the additional cost. Most power supplies, even this type, I'd say if it's just a board, a CPU, some drives, it will work just fine. Anyway, back to the case. So this case has some areas to mount drives at the front, and there's actually no room for you to improve the airflow. So for the Spotless, right, this is the Spotless, I recommend to keep it only using the motherboard and CPU, nothing else. Graphics card, sure, you might be able to fit some RTX 3060, whatever, RX 6600 XT. You could change the power supply as well, but the airflow, I mean, there's nothing pulling air. Even the frame at the back here looks like it is possible to mount a fan, maybe 80 mil, but I don't know, it's just one exhaust, you'll be negative airflow, and pretty much that. Again, I'm not saying that this case is bad, it's made for what it is. It is very affordable, comes with power supply. Some people would like that, I understand that. Just not the type of case I would recommend for a gaming setup, but for, like what I said, home use, simple basic thing, it's alright. Now let's move on to the next case. The next case is the Insight. You see all of them, although I'm showing horizontally, they actually fit into the camera frame because they are relatively small. We'll talk about the micro ATX part later. So let's go with this one first. Again, opening up, pre-open. So this is a much more spacious case. If you remember the other one, the power supply is pretty much at the edge already. This time around, this case actually has a secondary panel. I mean, the other one does not have a rear panel, but this one at least has a rear panel, and so this means you can play around with more things, route the cables if you want, handle this heatsink backplate, all that. In fact, the front area is a lot more spacious. There's no fans pre-installed, but you can install fans, you can install drives there. And the front area, this is where the fan is, and it has much more room at the front. The case size is bigger, of course. It's in terms of depth, it's more, to cater for this area, and then the width is also more, so you have room for a lot more things, including using a tower cooler. So this is actually a pretty reasonable case, of which I might do further build setup and see how it goes. But for this video, we're just going to keep it simple. Later you'll see the results of my test of this case as it is, because to actually evaluate the case with additional add-on fans, and this is going to take a lot of time. But for this one, yeah, I think it's a much better case. Again, while you can fit quite a number of things, once you are going for gaming setup, I do recommend changing the power supply. It's because this is an affordable case, it comes with it already. Just change the power supply, give this to someone else, or use it as a spare, whichever. So overall, I think this is a much better case compared to the other one, because I like it that it has airflow. Again, like what I said, if that was just a plain setup for office, home use, whatever, not playing games and workload where it involves heat generation, then I'd say it's fine. So yeah, this is to me the better case among them. And let's go for the third one right now. Now some of you might like the third one a lot more because it is tempered glass. Yes, nice to display your graphics card and all. It has the old-fashioned style like the previous ones. When I say old-fashioned style power supply mount. So with this thing placed to the side, I'm going to move the tempered glass over. So again, you see similar configuration like the other one, but this time it has 3 fans. So 2 intake, 1 exhaust. That's for positive airflow, and I'm pretty sure the airflow for this one will be good. I like this one as it is, and it does not come with power supply, so you have to spend a bit more for the power supply. But clearly the design is gamerish build. You can use tower cooler, okay. AIO might be possible actually. I'm not sure. From what I see, it could be possible, but fan blades are pretty close to the shroud, okay. Personally, I wouldn't recommend AIO on this one. Tower cooler would suffice. You are not using, typically if you are going for this kind of case, you wouldn't be using something of a high-end setup. So a mid-range and reasonable power supply, maybe about RM 100 something to 200, you can get reasonable 80 plus white or 80 plus bronze type, I believe. So modular power supply fit with whatever graphics card and motherboard you have, and I think this is a splendid case for people who want an affordable gaming rig setup. Now let's talk about the micro ATX thing. You see, micro ATX setup, you have to be aware that just because the case says it's micro ATX, that doesn't mean it can fit all micro ATX. Let's try with this one. So you see, for this case, alright, it actually fits a micro ATX motherboard like this one. This is the Aouch B760M PG Lightning, and then that means you can fit all the other smaller ones, which are like this type. It's commonly called micro ATX, but it is an off-size micro ATX motherboard. So let's go back to the other one instead, the Spotless. Alright, so a quick cut to this scene. I have changed the case from the other one, which is Insight, to this one, which is Spotless, because it is the smallest, and I want to show you whether it fits a motherboard like this one, which is the Aouch B760M PG Lightning, because some cases might be small, but they do not fit all micro ATX motherboards because they are off-size micro ATX motherboards. So this is a micro ATX motherboard, and let's see if it fits. It pretty much fits. Yes, it fits. So this is good. It means that micro ATX boards have compatibility to it. However, I would like to highlight that, you know, the edge here is actually almost scraping the front USB interface, but it's okay, it's okay. You can still remove, and just because of the cramped space, you have to exercise a bit of care, but overall good stuff from Slev that it fits even a micro ATX, actual micro ATX motherboard. With that done, let's go look at the benchmarks. For the benchmarks, we'll be using this setup, which is Intel Core i3-12100. We are using the onboard graphics to output, stock cooler, so you can see how the temperature is like across all the cases. Motherboard is an ASRock H610M HDV M.2 R2.0. Memory is the PNY. This accelerate, low profile, non-RGB LED, two 8GB sticks, 3200 MHz CL16, and the drive is a PNY 500GB CS1031. Let's dive into the benchmarks right now. For the benchmark, it's very simple. I did not try out this one at all, which is the Aouch. I compared the most airflow constricted one, which is a Spotless, and the highest airflow one, which is the Insight. And this is the result I get. So as you can see, the one with the airflow performs very well. Even with the Cinebench R23 running at 10 minutes, it is very well maintained when it comes to the temperature. However, for the Spotless, it is, as you can see, the temperature, it is constricted. That's why the average and the peak temperature is high. However, this is Cinebench R23 workload, which is not something most people would do anyway. On a, let's say, a office PC build, it will be totally fine. The stress test is just to show you the difference between the airflow. So this one, great airflow, this one, no airflow, so you know what kind of workload and what kind of setup to not run on this one. Overall, I think they are all good cases. Personally, my favorite would actually go to Aouch because although yeah, it comes with power supply, but I like that it's empty and you have room to place fans and all that. So overall, nice cases from Slev. That's all for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.